Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we're going to talk some women's basketball with the head coach of the program, Coach Royce Chadwick. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Stephen.
Great to have you. Interesting season so far. You know, you've got all this youth combined with some of this veteran talent, and it's been kind of an interesting dynamic. What's been truly intriguing about this as well is, you know, it's been a very balanced team. Like currently no one averages double figures, but you have this cluster of athletes kind of sitting at the top of that scoring numbers. Now, do you prefer this type of kind of a balance, or would you prefer to have maybe that breakout performer that's maybe your go-to guy?
Well, I think you'd rather have consistency in one individual because down the stretch, you don't really know where you're going with the basketball. If you have 4 or 5 people averaging 9 points and one of them has a bad game, you're in big trouble because we're not a prolific scoring team. If you have somebody that's getting 16, 17 every single night, then they have a bad game, you are in trouble, but you only got that one kid that you're counting on, and they have one bad game out of 6 or 7, you're in great shape. You got 5 kids averaging 9, this one has a bad game tonight, that one has a bad game tomorrow night, this one has a bad game, now you've lost 3. So we're trying to get Brittany going. I think Brittany is the key to our season. She missed the first 8 games coming back off that knee, and I think she's just now starting to get into her
That's
flow.
exactly what I was about to lead into. You know, she's a redshirt junior. She's coming off of last year's injury. You know, she's the single-season record holder for threes in a season. She's second all-time in threes made for the Islanders. But she did have some difficulty trying to finding her rhythm once coming back. Maybe, you know, it was just getting confidence with the knee or working with that young lineup. But it seems to have changed as of late, you know, and her numbers are there and her time has really jumped up as well.
Well, I think it's timing too. You know, I mean, she was in a situation where we have new offensive sets and she needed to get her timing down. Footwork, bending your knees, sitting down and shooting it, all of those things, it took her a while to get them going. And we got to get Kamisha Davis going. I mean, Kamisha is a double-double waiting to happen, and she's been sporadic as of late. We got to get her to settle in and do her thing every single night. And, you know, you're also talking about you got 4 freshmen playing a bunch of minutes, all of those players, they're just sporadic. You know, I had an old coach. I called and said, hey, my freshmen are doing this, this, and this, and what do I have them do? And he said, have them be sophomores because they just got to get the experience. Once they get it, they'll have it down.
No doubt. Let's kind of look to a game situation. Games are in play right now. You're at a timeout and someone brings over a box score. What's the first thing you look at when you're looking at a box score? How do you read it from your perspective?
Well, I think we look at turnovers. You know, we want to see where we are in the turnover department because those are things that we just gave it away. We want to look at primarily how many shots we're getting for the right people and are they the shots that we wanted to take. And that's about all the time that you have in that short of a span. But now we have coaches that keep the shots that we took, the offense we ran, whether it was successful, what happened, the defense we ran, whether it was successful. So once we get that stat sheet, we look at that for about 5 seconds, and then the coaches tell me we're running this, this, and this, and it's working. This is not working. Defensively, we're running this, and this is working, and we go in the huddle and pass it on to the players.
I tell you, everybody who's been around the sport or been around almost any sport understands the term. You know, you have to play a full 40 minutes. It's just a terminology. It seems like a no-brainer, but easier said than done. You know, what makes that difficult sometimes, getting that full 40-minute effort?
Well, it's experience. I think it's a situation of, oh my gosh, I made a bad pass, and then you lament over it if you're inexperienced and you go down and make a mistake on defense. Once our players get more experienced, they're going to be in a situation where you got to have short-term memory. It's got to, okay, I made a mistake, next play. But freshmen are notorious for lamenting about the things that they did in the last play, and it rolls over into the next play. Now you got 2 bad plays. Now you're lamenting about that one. It turns into 3 bad plays. So experience is going to be something that our players need to get, and once they get it, they're going to be able to overcome those mistakes.
Lastly, Coach, you know, there's been some challenges, but there's been a lot of growth on this team. What characteristics of this squad makes you most proud?
Well, I think they're getting better. I think the one thing you want as a coach is you want to go out there to practice every day and see a kid like Emma Young. Emma came in with a work ethic and has turned herself into a pretty good basketball player and starting for us. So you got a freshman that is one of your top 5 scorers, one of your top 5 assist people, one of your top 5 rebounders. You're going to be in pretty good shape in the long run. Day-Day Evans has done some good things. Tiara Matthews has done some good things. Delisha Booth. We got 4 freshmen that are putting up pretty solid numbers that I see growth in them every single day.
It's going to be interesting stuff. Season continues for Islander women's basketball. You can check everything out, of course, right here on the Islanders website at goislanders.com. Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Royce Chadwick joining us once again. When we come back, a special feature focusing on Islander men's basketball. Stay with us, more to come. Islander Insider continues.